What's up everybody, Jeff here, and today we're going to be talking about winter prep on your bicycle. It's that time here in Sweden, as is other parts of the world. So I thought it's a good time to kind of go through and show you what I do for our bikes here at home, and what I recommend you should do as well. We'll go ahead and talk about grease, what kinds of grease, where to grease, talk about using too much grease on purpose, chain lubricants. So we'll try to break it down into 5 tips, kind of like my bike wash video, but we may exceed that a little bit more, but stay tuned and we'll get right into it. As always, we'll just go ahead and get our gloves on and we can get going. So tip 1 for me is gonna be starting with a completely clean bike. There's no point in winter prepping a dirty bike, in my opinion. Yeah, it is gonna get dirty all over again, but in order to properly grease and lube everything needs to be clean from the get-go. So that's tip 1. Okay, so now with everything clean, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the grease and show you where I grease. We're going to grease the bottom bracket for sure. We're going to grease the threads on the derailleurs. And then we're also going to disassemble the headset and make sure there's an ample amount of grease there. These are kind of all high moisture areas being pretty low to the ground. And since we're not running mud guards, it's just going to kind of fling the water up and everywhere. So the grease is really, of course, it's to lubricate and to keep everything working as it should, but it's also a really good water repellent. So we're going to put a little excessive amount of grease on the bottom bracket and the headset. And just remember, this isn't a go fast setup by any means, it's a longevity setup. So grease is really going to be your best friend for a winter setup. So tip 3 for me is going to be finding yourself a good chain lube. We use the Muck Off chain lube here. It's just like their wet lubricant. It's really kind of sticky and gooey. Not a fast lubricant by any means, but like I said earlier, it's all about a longevity setup. So make sure your chain is clean and then go ahead and use a good wet weather lube. Make sure that all the links are coated. Just lube it up as you normally would, lube your chain. But in this case, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and roll it all the way over the chain, make sure all the rollers are coated, and then I'll take my 2 fingers, pinch the chain, and then just kind of, spin the crank backwards just to make sure that all the lube is in there. And yeah. So tips 4 and 5 for me aren't going to be related to actual maintenance on the bike. It's just going to be kind of, tip 4 I guess will be mud guards or fenders. If you can get your hands on a set of those, if you live in really wet climate areas during the winter and you have a lot of snow and a lot of rain, That's really going to protect a lot of things. It's going to protect you. It's going to keep you a little bit more dry. You won't get the spray up your back. And also it's going to protect your frame from all like this salt if you live in a snowy area. So salt on the road, and all the other debris that could be there, mud, water, etc. If you can fit them on there, definitely get some mud guards. They do make them specifically for road bikes, and they are kind of universal, and they don't look too bad. And number 5 for me is going to be tires. Get some really good winter tires. Don't run your summer race day tires or anything like that. Try to go something as wide as 25 or a little bit larger, depending on what your frame can handle. But if you can do a really good heavy duty tire, something like gator skins, Continental gator skins, something really heavy duty like that to prevent flats. Because when you're out there and it's cold and it's wet, the last thing you want to do is going to be stranded on the side of the road changing a flat tire while everything is wet, while you're cold, and etc. And I guess one final tip is going to be lights. Make sure you have a headlight and a tail light for sure. I mean, they're so cheap to come by these days. You can pick them up for under $20. Make sure you have a headlight and tail light. Turn them on all the time, even on, during the day, just to make sure that you are visible to the other drivers on the road. And keep yourself safe. So that's it. Those are my winter tips. And as always, like and comment on this video if you have anything you'd like to see. And hopefully we continue making more videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.